Rassie, Ireland Rugby Union confirmed this week they'll be wearing their navy blue jerseys. Can this be resolved with one team wearing the home uniform, the other wear contrast colors, for example, white, as it was done in the past? And then for you, Urban, it seems to be raining on a daily in Dublin. How has training, or let me say preparations, been since arriving in Dublin?
Yeah, thanks, Edwin. The thing is, I'm not sure. I looked at those jerseys, if it will clash. For me, it looks like it won't clash, but I mean, I'm not a referee who must make the decisions on the field when it's really tight and close. I guess the guys would have done their homework and would know if it doesn't clash. I just know the home team gets to wear the alternative jerseys, and the visiting team wear the traditional jerseys. So, as long as the referee can see and the fans can see, and we'll be able to play without it disturbing anything. I really, when I compared the two, for me, it looked like that there's a difference, but it's not in. Yeah, we just know we have to pitch up with our jerseys, and if there's a clash, I mean, the guys who's in charge will sort it out.
Yeah, just on the preparation, I think it went well. Today we obviously experienced some rain, lots of wind, and then earlier the week it was a bit drier. So yeah, I think we used to all the weather conditions. So yeah, whatever comes on Saturday, we've experienced both.
Rassie, today marks 3 years since that fantastic moment in Japan. I mean, is this something that you guys have spoken about or kind of mentioned within that squad lifted the trophy 3 years ago to the day?
Yeah, we actually had the same question in Afrikaans. Sorry, Percy, I didn't answer it fully. And yeah, we've been now. We knew that it was here somewhere around today where, it was 3 years, but that's the point. It was 3 years. And we're now on to the next World Cup, and it was wonderful and it was great, but I think we're all in the mode now of, trying to get momentum. Although we're very proud and it was a great moment in our history, and we've now won 3 World Cups. The aim is now to go into the next year with a very closely contested World Cup. I think any bloody team can win it next year of the top, even the top 9. I mean, a team like Argentina beat New Zealand in New Zealand. I think they're 10th or 11th ranked currently. That just shows you, I mean, how did Scotland push Australia last week till the end. So I think the World Cup is something of the past in terms of bragging rights. I think, it's now focusing, it's just around the corner. So yeah, it's great. And if it's on a day-to-day, yeah, we didn't have a special thing about it. We're looking towards next year's one. So thank you.
Good afternoon, guys. A question for Eben. Just looking at the forwards, the game on Saturday, obviously you guys have played the Rugby Championship packs and the Welsh pack. Just where do you think the Irish fit in? How do they compare to those forward packs? And do they do anything sort of different, something that you've been able to have a look at that they will bring?
Yeah, hello, Mike. I think we saw against that series against New Zealand, they've quite a strong maul. I think they maul quite a bit, and then also they've got a good scrum. They won a couple of scrum penalties in that series, and I must say that they're very clinical at the breakdown. They know exactly their job, and they do their job very well.
Right, guys, questions from the floor?
Rassie, welcome back to Ireland. Since you were here last time, you won a Rugby World Cup in South Africa, which is obviously momentous from your point of view. How have you seen Irish rugby evolve from your last trip to where you are right now?
Yeah, well, obviously I've repeated this a few times, so sorry if I repeated it again. I think the challenge for Ireland will always be to, the amount of numbers. There's 4 clubs, and the academies, how it works, and I think, we don't have to talk about those structures. But the one thing they've always done, even when I was way back here, I think David Misifora must get a lot of credit for that, is how they just make players better and, make sure this guy can be a professional player or not a professional player. And they decided really quickly and early in the guy's career, and yeah, I got a real insight onto being really honest with young players just over 21, 22, making a decision that will study or work orientated or trying to be a professional rugby player. I think they're getting the results, bearing the fruits of that mindset, and also the way they control foreign players coming into their clubs compared maybe to other countries. I really think that's how they maximize their talent, and they just got better and better by it. And Joe was a great coach, but Andy is also a good coach, and having Paul now involved there, there's a lot of experience. So I think of all of those combinations, I think that's where they are currently, and they can be proud.
Just one final question, if you don't mind, in terms of the Rugby World Cup, everybody talks about that. It's down the track, we know. So does Saturday's game have any relevance in terms of that, given the fact that both teams are in the same pool?
I think it spiced it up because they gave us 38 points last time. And it was just before the World Cup, and we would have played them somewhere. And obviously, we did a lot of analysis in 2019. I think when we played Japan, it might have been Ireland there. So we did obviously analysis on them. And I just think we haven't beaten them there. I think 2012 lost in Ireland. So the thing is, since 2018, we were really bad at some things. Even we had a 50% win record and lost some bad games with bad scores. So you can't actually make it relevant because it's the World Cup has been with the British and Irish Lions has been since. So this is totally two new teams. It's just other coaches. So a new game. It's just a new game.
Rassie, we were speaking to Johnny Sexton yesterday. He said Ireland have been the best team in the world this weekend. Obviously, you're world champions. Where would you rank this current Ireland team, where they're at now in terms of the best teams in the world?
Look, I don't think Johnny or any of them or us will ever try and get the underdog tag. I don't think there's any benefit in trying to be the underdog tag. I never understand why people, and I'm not talking about Johnny, I'm talking about, I think he's actually one of the guys that understand that world ranking is a temporary thing that can change like that. We don't always understand how the rankings work, but when you look at the team, when you analyze the team, they're red hot. They not blowing smoke up their arse. They're just really competitive in all areas of the game, and that's why I think if you look at our team, there's not a lot of unsettled players in this team because we know we play, and we've had to take a few chances to develop 3 players in a position, maybe one guy who starts off regularly, then a more senior guy pushing really hard, and then a youngster coming. So that's always the ideal situation in each position, but you don't try that against Ireland and Ireland.
Could you speak a bit about how different this Ireland team is under Andy compared to Joe tactically? What have you seen? How are they different?
Yeah, I had you ask the same question to Jacques, and the thing is, why one wouldn't want to answer that because you wouldn't want to talk bad about one of the two, So it's tough to compare without letting, never want to have unnecessary critical things said about. So that's why Jacques answered it the way we did. We don't want to say something. I think this team has got a physical edge on them. I think this team has got a tactical edge on them. I think this team's confident. I think if you take the experience of Johnny and some of the other guys in the team, that's well balanced, and they're playing at home. And he's built up something that, the moment I say it, I'm big friends with Joe, then it's going to sound bad. But Joe had this technical knowledge, which you just know this guy's going to always confuse you with, and they know their role specifically. But I think both of them had tactics. They beat us 38-3. So that's how good Joe was. And now with Andy, the number 1 in the world. So it's so difficult to compare. I just think this team's got a, apart from the technicalities on them, they've got a real good physical edge on them as well.
Does the fact that you haven't played each other in so long add a bit of kind of unknown to the game Saturday? Do you think it's been quite a while?
Yeah, it's well, I think that's the last time I was on Ireland, So yes, but it's actually mostly it's the crowd, and the crowd, yes, is not hostile and makes you feel, but they support their own. You can feel the pressure of them doing something small, great, but the crowd erupts, and the weather, and then obviously the unknown. We've played them, luckily a lot of their players played them now in the URC, which give you that in-touch feeling a little bit with the way they're playing. But yeah, it's a bit of unknown, I guess, for the players as well, and the weather is a challenge.
Hi, Rassie. It's quite likely Conor Murray will win the 100 caps for Ireland on Saturday. You know well as a player and a person. Would you just achieve respect or maybe say a little bit about him?
Yeah, Murray is one of the guys. I know. He's one of the guys that when I coached at Munster, he was already a senior player, and I'm not sure how exactly it works when Andy announces the team if he'll start or not. When a guy plays his 100 test match, and he's good enough, and we normally start with a guy on his 50th or 100th test match if he's close to the other guy starting. So I'm not sure how that will work, or if he's going to be in the match at 20. It's only being announced tomorrow, am I right? Yeah. So I'm not sure if he's in there, but yes, yeah, for what he's achieved and how humble he stayed, that was the thing when I got you. I thought I'm going to get this guy. We've got to talk and, you know, be out there all the time. And he's this quiet, reserved guy. And you know, it was such a pleasure getting his rugby IP talking to you, but almost you had to ask always. It wasn't his opinion always. So yeah, I think to play 100 test matches, even it's just done it the other day, and in any country, that's well done. And he's a nice guy and an awesome bloke, and he knows the game. Yeah, so if he gets his run on Saturday, congrats to him.
Rassie, you have Siak senior side, which is required to work with. You've also worked with Peter O'Mahony, who we assume is fit and is going to be playing tomorrow. You've had big adventures with Siak, but you've had equally big adventures with Peter O'Mahony. You've seen him cry and break down and recover in front of you, in front of all of us at a press conference. What about Peter O'Mahony, the man? What do you make of him? And then just as an addendum at the end, is he up there with Siak for you?
Oh, that's a difficult question to. As a man, I mean, you guys know him better than I do because I only coached him for 18 months, just under 2 years. But we've been through the actual passing away and having that press conference. And yeah, again, as I said, Irish people, and I'm talking Irish players, Irish coaches, and Peter was the captain then. So yeah, there were times when I didn't know what to do, and he gave advice. And I think there were times when his form went up and down, but he's still there. I think he's close to 100, isn't he? At 90 or 86 caps or something like that. So yeah, good guy, guy that helped me through things when I didn't know how to do things. He helped me a lot. And then comparing him with Sia, it's just different backgrounds, different kind of players. One's the line out forward. You see us more breakdown. He sorts out breakdown on the attacking side of things, where Peter is more a guy that sorts out breakdown on the defensive side of things. So the comparison is difficult to make. I can just tell you both are very, very good players.
Question over there.
And Rassie, how do you hope your team can challenge around in ways that maybe other teams haven't over the last few?
No, my first game was for the SA8 team in Ireland, again in Cork against Keith Wood. And Keith Wood was running, we didn't know the guy, and he ran over everybody. And I think if they had 15 Keith Woods, they would have run all of us the whole day. You know, so we've got certain strengths that we think will be good in this game. But I don't think this is definitely a team that you can just run over with. You know, we have to make some special plans to outsmart them as well, because Andy is an ex-rugby league guy. I think he was one of the toughest rugby league players that there were, and he's the defensive coach, and the technical things that Paul brings into the game. We'll have to be smart. So obviously I don't say where I think we're going to be smart. Let's see if we're smart on Saturday. We hope so.
Their attacks have been spoken a lot. How big are challenges that you need to challenge them?
Yeah, we'll have to defend well. Our wing scores tries. We get some tries also as well. So it works both sides. If the weather plays along, hopefully we get some as well. But yes, our defense will have to be top notch, but other way around as well.
Rassie, just wondering, your relationship with Aviva Stadium, didn't have too much fun when you were there every month. So what are your memories of those times?
No, I haven't won a game yet. So yeah, I think when I was a player last, when I was part of a team that came and play here, not Aviva, way back in the days, it wasn't called the Aviva Stadium, and I played here. But yeah, I haven't been with a Springbok team or a Munster team to the Aviva to win a game. Even against the Scarlets, the final of Pro 14, we got a proper hiding, I think, with 38 points or something like that. So yeah, not great memory. So hopefully that will change.
Guys, just take another question or two from the floor.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Evan, good to see you. Would you agree with Rassie that this Ireland team has more of an edge to it than maybe previous ones?
Yeah, I feel like I said earlier, also they got a serious win in New Zealand. We all know that's not the easy thing to do. So yeah, they're definitely ranked #1 in the world currently. So it's going to be a great test match for us, and also I think it does add a bit of spice. We're playing them in the World Cup next year, so it's almost like a curtain raiser for that game. But yeah, we fully focus on this test match. I know we still got a long end of year tour, but Ireland have been on our minds for the last couple of weeks.
Do you think either team, like if depending on the result, could get a bit of an edge going into that World Cup game next year, psychologically even?
Yeah, it's a difficult one to answer. I think the World Cup will be something on its own. I think it will just be, like I said, we last played them in 2017, so you almost can expect something then in the World Cup. So it's nice to play them this year.
Cool. Last question.
Rassie, can I ask you one final question if you don't mind? I think you mentioned earlier that it's your first time back in the coaching box this coming weekend. Have you learned something about yourself in your absence from the coaching box, and how frustrating has that been? And are you looking forward to being there this weekend again?
Yeah, I've certainly learned. I love rugby. And I love match days, and I love being with the guys in the change room. And I missed it a hell of a lot. And you know, it's something that it's gonna be nice to be back. I mean, yeah, it's not nice not to be with the guys or during the week with the guys, and then there the bus goes with the players, and you go to your room. So I really love rugby. I love South Africa. I like the boys. We get on well, and it's nice to be back.